All right, monologue. So back in 2022, author Malcolm Gladwell hosted a panel supporting trans athletes in sports. But now he's admitting he was actually afraid to speak his mind. I wonder, is he ashamed of his performance at that panel?
I'm ashamed of my performance at that panel because I share your position 100%, and I was cowed. The idea of saying anything on this issue, what the trans movement is not asking for, they're not asking for, a place at the table. They're not asking for to be treated with respect and dignity. What they're asking is for no one to question the considerable physiological advantage they bring to the sport. When I heard that, I was like, this is nuts. And yet I didn't say anything.
You know why you didn't? Because unlike those fake women, you have no nuts. By the way, it looks like his barber also was afraid to speak up. When Malcolm walked in and said, "I want to look like an exploding cigar." Listen, it takes guts to admit a mistake. And we all have lapses in judgment. Sometimes after a few drinks, you go to sleep with a 10, but you wake up next to a 6. What? So should we applaud him for coming clean? It takes a big man to admit when he's wrong, but Gladwell didn't. He just admitted he was weak. He portrays this situation as if a bad thing was done to him. He was cowed. No, he wasn't cowed. Cowed is what happens when you go to lunch with Joy Behar. Wait. And she demands to lick gravy off your face. And he had a choice, unlike the women who saw Leah Thomas's wang. And his choice was to join the mob and then call out the brave folks who didn't. He hoped the alligator would eat him last, which may also be why he glues pubic hair onto his scalp. So in effect, he's simply telling us that he stopped doing a bad thing. He's like a drunk driver who wants credit for using his turn signal when he enters a playground. Still funny as a dad. Now, granted, he could have lied and said, "Look, I felt one way about trans athletes before, but then I did the research and I changed my mind." And that research would have taken 3 seconds, the time it takes to look down someone's pants. But he didn't. Instead, he said he never believed the BS to begin with, but it took a coward's path. He really doesn't take responsibility. He pretends he was forced to lie, but he gave up his agency and now he's ashamed of it, like people who saw Coldplay on purpose. Could this be the tipping point that Gladwell wrote about, when it's safe for chicken to say out loud what they always believed? Now that the coast is clear, he's retreating faster than his hairline. But he leaves out why he's saying it now and not last year. What could be different? Let's be real. We are experiencing so many moments of honesty that wouldn't have happened if Trump hadn't won. Trump is human truth serum. People come within a mile of him and they start spilling the beans. But if Kamala had won, people like Malcolm would have remained silent, terrified of losing status, speaking gigs, and free hair care products. Because the left assigns opinions and expects you to fall in line, which he did. So the only reason he is talking now is because it's safe. He's like the guy at a bar who waits until the bouncer breaks up the fight before he starts talking trash. Yeah. So on one hand, I welcome Malcolm to the right side. But on the other, I was there the whole time and wished others like him would share the risk. They didn't. They were too scared. And with each passive lie, the mob grew bigger. And all we asked was 3 words: share the risk. Not just on trans, but on other risky positions. The Fine People hoax, the border chaos, Biden's broken brain, or that Jasmine Crockett doesn't know what a circle is. Some shared, many didn't. And still we took the heat, while others who secretly agreed with us instead pulled a Tim Walz. Maybe Malcolm should admit that. After all, it's safe now. So come on in, the water's warm. not just because you're standing near Joe Biden. David. I'm going to try to ignore the fact that you have a razor sticking in your pocket hole.
What, this Made in America razor, Greg?
Yeah, I'm not going to reference where it might be purchased.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to westernrazor.com, but I understand the point you're making.
Yeah, we won't bring it up.
We won't.
Yeah, because we don't make any plugs for products here.
No, it'd be shameless.
It would be shameless. You know what's not shameless? You. I think this topic is perfect for you because you often speak uncomfortable truths, usually on social media, that no one agrees with. Nobody agrees with.
That is true.
And then years later, they become shared assumptions, and suddenly everybody agrees with you. You have to resent that because people don't share the risk when you come out and say something.
It is true, but I don't know. I kind of understand. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid of what could happen to their career. And that's why what I've done is I've ruined my career early on.
Yes.
So at this point, it's like, what else could go wrong?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I find it freeing. You just say it because I don't want to play the game. I don't want to do charades with all this stuff. Everyone knows it's fake. The Biden thing was like absurd. You want me to play along with this? I can't do it.
Yeah.
But the thing with the liberal game is if you say one thing they don't like, they'll destroy you. But if you are constantly saying things they don't like, they kind of ignore you after a while.
They
so
have
get
to.
away with it.
They have to. I learned
what
that.
What can they do?
Yeah. They used to come after me every day, and I just exhausted them.
Right, and it's like with my tweets, it's like you can go through my tweets. It's like, go ahead, try to cancel me from that. It's like trying to, blackmail Sydney Sweeney with topless pics. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work.
Julie, is it me? Sometimes
Most likely,
it is. Yes. No, that was Todd's fart.
Oh.
What?
We just started.
I know. I haven't even got to you yet.
Yeah.
But do you kind of get the feeling that since Trump became president, we are now, like, the screws have loosened behind our tongues. We can talk freely. This guy never would have said this stuff if it was Kamala.
No, 100%. And it's interesting and ironic and hypocritical that the liberals are the ones personally that spawned this whole cancel culture, right? But now they see what happened in the election. They see that Kamala Harris clearly not only lost the country, but she lost the respect and the confidence of all of America, and especially Democrats who supported her. And now they realize that they've been supporting a bunch of BS. And they're finally waking up to the fact that that's not what wins elections. And it certainly doesn't win just obvious reality. I mean, a man and a woman should not be competing in sports. That's the bottom line. Why did it take for Trump to become president for people to understand that men have testicles and balls? Well, some.
Testicles and balls.
And balls. I'm sorry, I meant to say.
There's a lot going on down there, Greg.
Good catch.
It's getting crowded down there, Greg.
Needless to say, why does it take for President Trump to get elected for people to actually know the difference between man and woman?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I think it's because everybody shares the risk. It's the answer to everything. Todd, I got a fun story, but with you. See, they don't even laugh at jokes about you anymore, Todd.
I'm laughing.
I ran into you in the bathroom a couple hours ago, and you said to me, this is a tough show. The topics are really thin. What did you have a problem with this topic? What's your problem with it?
I think I have a question
Yes.
that many members of the audience may share, and people in the audience and those watching at home. Who the hell is Malcolm Gladwell?
Fair question. Fair question. Wait a minute, you don't know who Malcom Gladwell is?
No.
You didn't know?
No, I swear to God, I
God,
had no
maybe
idea.
we are
I
a
still
stupid
don't know
group
who
of
he is.
people.
Greg, I don't read what you brainiacs call books. Okay? So
Sure that him and I worked at the same place?
that must have been fun.
Yeah, in the 80s, we worked at the American Spectator.
Huh.
Yeah,
How
he
was his
there.
hair then?
I don't know. I only met him once. And it
How was
dark.
your hair then?
It was great.
What was your question?
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this topic, or would you like me to move on to Kat?
That's the second show in a row you've done that. Like, I can't come up with anything for Pyro. Just give away his time.
No, you did make a great point. Who is Malcolm Gladwell?
The only thing I would add to this is, and I totally understand what you're saying, Trump has kind of freed people. I'm curious if J.D. Vance or whoever it is, Marco Rubio, loses in 28, do we go back to being closed again?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That is a great question because can you close it up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The audience says no.
No. We have been reminded that we are a nation of free speech. We forgot it. COVID made us forget it, right, Kat? We gave up so many rights during COVID, and then it's like now we're being, oh, wait a second, I don't have to do that, and I don't have to shut up when you tell me to shut up.
I would say, though, I don't think his fears were unfounded, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
But it was, if you even asked a question about, like, I don't really know if this biological male and then this biological female competing in sports is a fair thing. They're like, you hate trans people.
Yes.
Which, of course, this does not go over here. And we all know that most people did not feel that way.
Right.
Because they were quietly telling us, like, I talk to a lot of people. I have to because I love to talk and I don't want my husband to kill himself. But exactly one person who I know who was maybe like, no, it's fine. But everyone else, no matter how liberal they were or no matter how they would talk about things, and I would sometimes see them say things on social media. I'm like, that's not what you were saying to me the other night. You think this isn't fair.
Yeah.
And it became where it's like you can't, they pushed it way too far, is I think what happened. They pushed it way, way too far where you couldn't even have, New York Times was writing about what scientific studies were saying about some of these things, and then people were like, you hate trans people. It's like, no, this does not make any sense. They pushed it so far that ultimately this is where it always was, but people finally felt comfortable to say something. But his fear, sadly, as crazy as it was not unfounded.
But okay, I agree 100% with you, but a lot of us knew that fear and we still took the risk. But again, I'm not Malcolm Gladwell.
Of course. Yeah, no, look, I wrote about this exact thing in both my books, and there's so much research saying that people say one thing and they say another thing. And it got to a certain point where people were just like, why are we all pretending to believe this?
Yeah. All right, well, that was a fun segment, even with Todd Pyro.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.